Hey guys, it's Tamara coming back at you in another video. I want to talk to you a little bit today about emotionally detached parents. I actually wrote an article about this topic about maybe 2 years ago, and the response was quite interesting. One of the reasons it was interesting is because I didn't expect the amount of people that contacted me to tell me that they were dealing with emotionally detached parents. So I think it might be something that you guys might be interested in as well. And so I decided to make it a YouTube video as well. So let's get into it because I think it's something that the both of us, you and me, look at that, you and me, right? No, you and me. I think that that's something that we both can benefit from to get community talking about it. I think YouTube is a great place to do that. So I figured I would get the conversation started. So let's go ahead and jump in and talk a little about emotionally detached parents. So emotionally detached parents, I usually conceptualize them in two ways. One, personality, and two, biology, social influence, and environment. And what I mean by that is, let's start with the personality. What I mean by that is there are a lot of adults in society that are not child friendly. They don't necessarily have what my great-grandmother used to call mother wit. They don't necessarily have an interest in being a parent. They don't have the ability to cope with the responsibilities of being an adult. They don't have the ability to maintain a household, to meet all of the expectations of the educational system. They don't have the patience or the psychological and emotional makeup to be a parent. And so therefore the children end up neglected, sometimes physically, but mainly psychologically and emotionally. And what I mean by that is that the kids are ignored, their feelings are minimized, they are often put on to other people, which that could be extended family, it could be other friends, it could be any other group of people or any other individual, as long as that emotionally detached parent does not have to be responsible. That is what they want. So we have a situation with these kind of parents where the children end up growing into adults who are resentful, who are codependent, who are emotionally and psychologically traumatized, who are unable to have a trusting relationship because of their fears. So we have that kind of a parent. The second way that I conceptualize emotionally detached parents is by looking at how they were raised, their social environment, and their genetics. So I firmly believe that there are some parents who are not psychologically, genetically, or emotionally prepared to be a parent. These particular individuals end up collapsing under the pressure of the responsibility. They end up with depression, they end up with anxiety, they end up abusing alcohol or drugs. You might even start seeing psychotic symptoms such as hallucinating, right? Seeing or hearing things that are not truly there. You might also notice delusions, which are strong beliefs with convictions held to be true despite evidence to the contrary, right? A delusion is a firm belief with conviction. No one can sway you, no one can move you. So these particular individuals are very different from those who are just not made out to be parents. These individuals are struggling with the responsibility of being a parent, and so therefore they collapse under it. They end up, attempting suicide. They end up having thoughts of committing suicide. They also end up drinking and abusing alcohol to help them cope. You might also notice high levels of anxiety and self-medication. So these parents or this group of individuals are so very different from the other group of individuals who simply just can't be and doesn't really want to be a parent. So despite, which kind of an emotionally detached parent you may have had, it's all detrimental to you. It's all detrimental to the individual. who is struggling with the reality that their parent is detached. So I want to give you 5 tips on how to cope with an emotionally detached parent. Okay, so one way to cope with an emotionally detached parent is acceptance. You have to be able to accept the fact that this is your parent. You have to be able to accept the fact that you cannot make them what they aren't. As much as you would love to have a parent that is exactly, like your heart wants and your mind wants in your life, your parent is not going to be that way. When they are emotionally detached, when parents are emotionally detached, they're detached. There's no making them better. However, there are a subgroup of individuals who can develop skills and, can become resilient parents who are great. But what's the research on that? I'm not all too sure. And, have I had success, with making parents accountable? Absolutely not. It's a long road. It's a bumpy road. So I think the first place to start would be acceptance. You need to be able to accept that this is your life, that this is what's happening. This is what has always happened, and you're going to have to accept it. So acceptance is once. Number 2, don't look back. You can't look back this way to make progress, right? You can't look back and reach for the parent that never really was a parent, right? You have to look forward, and what that means is part of it's acceptance. The other part of it is being able to brush off every hurtful thing that they do to you and say to you in order to move forward. And that takes us into my 3rd tip, which is detach yourself, right? So distance yourself. When you have an emotionally detached parent, the likelihood of them becoming toxic in your life is major. So you want to be able to distance yourself from them as much as possible so that you can survive, so that you can be what you need to be in your life, maybe even be what you need to be for your own children. So distance yourself. One way of doing that is by making contact infrequent. So if you have to stop making phone calls every week, if you have to stop making phone calls every month, kind of space them out, put some space between you. The other part of distancing yourself would be bringing up your boundaries, right? What are you going to talk about with that emotionally detached parent, and what are you not going to talk about? What topics are off limits and what are not? So kind of organizing how you're going to be with this emotionally detached person is important. The 4th tip that I have for you is seek your own therapy. If you're not already in therapy, I encourage you to do so. Here's one reason why. I think therapy can give you the ability to kind of sit, evaluate, and get out all of your emotions. If you have a really good and dedicated therapist, they will help you explore what having an emotionally detached parent actually meant for you and still possibly means for you. A good therapist can help you explore what happened way back when. They can also help you develop the resilience and the skills and the strength that you need to move forward. So I encourage you to find a really good therapist. My 5th tip that I have for you is to engage in self-care. And I think one of the reasons I made this a 5th tip is because you have to be able to nurture yourself and pamper yourself. What I mean by that is being able to kind of give your body, your heart, and your mind, and your spirit everything that it needs. So an example of this would be engaging in yoga and meditation, eating really healthy, doing something new and challenging like learning a trade or learning how to knit or sew. The other part of that would be having a movie night every Saturday night, right? Eating good foods that you like to eat every now and then, right? Pizza, popcorn, ice cream. Really pamper yourself. I think holistic health is important. When you are stressed and overwhelmed and anxious and maybe even depressed, I think it's good to have a holistic perspective. I've had clients say to me, well, I'm doing self-care, I'm nurturing myself, and it's not helping. So I encourage you to do a lot of things to nurture yourself, not just one thing, right? You can't just go to a yoga class once every week and then say, it's not working, right? You want to do yoga, meditation, eat healthy, sleep good, talk to your doctor about medication management, whatever it might be. You want to do all of those things together so that you can get the boost in your mood and the boost in your motivation and energy and the resilience that you need. All right, guys, thanks so much for being with me today. I ask that you please hit the like button on this video if you found it helpful. It does one thing. Hitting the like button actually pushes the video to the top of the search results so that other people who are searching for this topic can have access to it. If you hit the bell on the side of the video, you'll also get notifications for every time I release a video, so I encourage you to do so. If you would like to talk to me or send me a message, feel free to do that at my website at Anchored in Knowledge, inknowledge.com. You can also go to my Twitter page, which is on my website front page, and send me a message there. All right, guys, so thanks so much for being with me today. And as always, I wish you well.